Hey YouTube, what is going on? Manny here with another Feburary update. I just beat the Shadow of the Colossus remake. Now, in case you've been living under a rock for the last 12 years, Shadow of the Colossus is a game that came out way back in 2005 toward the end of the PS2's life cycle. At the time, it was a technical marvel to behold given that it was pushing the PS2 to its very limits. Despite it running mostly like dog shit on that hardware, it grew to become one of gaming's most revered titles, and has definitely left a major imprint on the industry. In 2011, a remastered edition of the game dropped on the PS3, and it served as a prettier way of getting the PS2 classic on that console generation. But if I'm being honest, it wasn't much more than the typical up-res facelift that was all the rage back then. Sure, it looked and ran better than its PS2 counterpart, but it definitely never held a candle to what I just finished playing. How's it fare after all these years? Let's find out. How far would you go to save someone you love? What sacrifices would you be willing to make? What would you do to whoever or whatever stood in your way? These are the immediate questions that Shadow of the Colossus hits you with in its opening hour. Sporting a minimalist style and somber tone, the setup revolves around the game's protagonist, Wander, and his journey to a forbidden land in an attempt to bring his beloved Mono back from the dead. In order to do this, Wander is tasked by a mysterious entity named Dorman to kill 16 hulking creatures known as Colossus. From this point on, what follows is an incredible 6 to 8 hour journey that quickly falls into a comfortable, reliable rhythm. Using your magic sword as a sort of compass, the game pushes you out to venture into its world with your trusty steed in search of the next Colossus to slay. Each Colossus you come across has a unique weak point that yearns to be exploited. It's up to you to figure out how to tackle each one of these adversaries, as they themselves serve as a brilliant form of level design. You'll jump, climb, and stab your way through each of them, all while keeping a close eye on your stamina meter. When said stamina meter runs out, you're forced to reassess your strategy, and keep trying until you figure out the solution to murdering these living puzzles, each of which inhabit their own unique corner of the game's world. Speaking of the world, it's pretty damn big, and with the exception of each Colossus, it's devoid of anything other than gorgeous landscapes. This isn't by any means a complaint, quite the contrary. You see, in giving you so much emptiness, the ride you'll be taking to each Colossus can be full of quiet reflection that really makes you think about what you're doing within the context of the game's story. When all of the working pieces come together, Shadow of the Colossus and its minimalist approach to world building, storytelling, and gameplay really shine bright. And by the end of it, you're left with one of gaming's most holy shit endings ever. It's safe to say that if any game out there deserves a remake treatment, it's this one. And holy hell, is it something to behold. Running at a steady 30 FPS on a vanilla PS4, with added PS4 Pro support for either 60 FPS at 1080p or 30 FPS at 4K, Shadow of the Colossus is the very definition of eye candy. The game is fully aware of this and even comes with a pretty robust photo mode that I spent a lot of time dicking around with. All in all, at its $40 price point, Shadow of the Colossus is quite frankly a steal, and it should be in the library of every self-respecting gamer out there. In the 12 years since this game's release, I've owned every iteration of this game, and until now, I'd never played past the third Colossus. It's a damn shame I waited this long to get around to it, but if I'm being honest, it's probably for the better, because this is the definitive way to check this game out. Shadow of the Colossus is a hell of a tightly knit package that's a masterclass in game design and storytelling, and really deserves to be experienced by everyone who owns a PS4. Check it out! You'll be glad you did. So with Shadow of the Colossus out of the way, that's gonna wrap it up for Feburary 2018. I kinda had a blast making a video series out of the challenge, and I'm looking forward to next year. Playing through 4 games during the year's shortest month wasn't actually as tough as I thought it would be. Then again, I did pick some pretty manageable games, so good on me for that, I guess. Anyhow, I think y'all know the drill by now. Drop a comment below, let me know what you thought, hit the like button, and slap that subscribe button, will ya? Not too hard though, you'll hurt its feelings.